man would have a very special future. Some said that he would rule the world. Um, Eventually, when Julius Caesar was murdered, because the Senate had enough of him getting all the power, he and Mark Antony, the right-hand man of Julius Caesar, avenged his death by something that we're going to cover later when we see Philippi. In that battle, Brutus and Cassius were defeated. That's where their life ended, but basically that was a tombstone of the Roman Republic. Octavian and Mark Antony split the state. He remained in the west. Octavian with Cleopatra remained in the east. At some point they clashed. He won. He became the one undisputed ruler of the Roman world. So for the first time we have the empire in Roman history. He's the first emperor, but he never used the title. He would call himself Princeps. From Princeps have the word prince today. The first. He considered to be himself. He styled himself as the first citizen of Rome, and he always pretended that the Senate was still running the show, but everybody knew that he was behind the scenes. The interesting thing of with this man, I have so many things that you can compare with Christ. What I mean is this: sometimes scholars say, "What if this was an attempt to bring a Messiah before the Messiah?" Because one of the things they said about this person is that he brought peace, justice, prosperity, happiness. He was the head and everybody else was the body. But as a Roman philosopher stated, yes, he might have brought peace and justice in the sea and in the land, but not in the hearts of man. I was a pagan that said that. Because he had all this miraculous thing happens about his life. Well, probably some of them are created, stories that created later. But he's an interesting person because as a battlefield commander, he's a disaster. You can even call him a coward. But as a politician, he's probably the greatest politician the Romans ever had. He laid the foundations of an empire that lasted for centuries. He's the greatest organizer of the Roman state. And one thing he did that had a terrific impact in Roman society was this. He started dressing, talking, walking, and acting like the great men of the past. The Romans always had this thing about their tradition. They believed that the only reason why the insignificant town that was called Rome in central Italy rose to world prominence was that their ancestors had virtue. So if you like, they were the beloved of the gods. Everybody in the end had to admit that the Roman gods, or the gods, loved the Romans because look what happened. You cannot deny that. Now the Romans in his time thought that they were not at that height. They came out of 2-3 generations of inner fighting, of civil wars, and they thought that something, we are degenerate compared to our ancestors. The Romans, whenever they were in doubt, they would always ask themselves, what would our forefathers have done? That's why they were so touchy about their traditions. So this person was seen as the incarnation of the long-lost virtue, and the Romans loved him for this. Just imagine that he's probably the only emperor that dared to exile his one daughter forever on charges of immorality. Just think of some other Roman emperors in this matter, how degenerate they were. So he's the one that created the cult of the emperor. He was the head. He was Augustus. He was divine. He was like divinity on earth. And mostly for taxation reasons, he started ordering censuses around the empire to find exactly how many citizens there were in each province. Now, during one of the censuses, Joseph had to go to Nazareth. And of course, when Joseph went to Nazareth, Jesus Christ was born. He had the star there. And that was actually a very puzzling thing for the astrologers of the time. Despite whatever they said about him, there was undeniably a star there. The question was, did Joseph have to go to Nazareth? In a society, in a world in which you don't have IDs, or IDs with a picture, you have to go back to your place of origin so that the society around you can testify that you really are who you say you are. And being the head of a household, had to bring his whole family with him. In the end, his last words before he died were, did I play well in the comedy of life? And that was it. The bad thing for him was that he outlived every single person he wanted to succeed in. For example, 2 of his grandsons died before him. Agrippa, his right-hand man, died before him. So in the end, by sometimes random events, we have some emperors of the same family that succeeded him, that some of them were average, like Tiberius or Claudius. They were not even close to the talents of this man. But some of them are completely bad and mad. Caligula. And the most famous example is right here, Nero. This happens to be one of the best preserved heads we have of Nero. Because look, not even the nose, bro. Not even the spine. Light beard. They say the light beard was because he was mourning. Now, I cannot really tell, but mine